Hi everybody, this is Beth with Something Better with Beth here in Fort Wayne, and I'm down here in my plant room. Got the fans going so it's a little loud, but I just wanted to take you along with me. I'm grabbing my red vein sorrel that I actually kept down here all winter, and we're gonna go ahead and go upstairs. Gotta go up, up, up. You can come with me. I should probably edit this out, but I might not. And we're gonna go outside and see how the garden is doing in this early mid-April. Thank you, Eric. And we're gonna take this guy out and put him where he belongs in the garden, even though I don't know exactly where I'm gonna plant him. But let's go ahead and look around and see what kinds of things made it through. I'll put this guy right here. We'll plant him later. We'll see what kinds of things made it through in the garden and what kinds of things didn't. Can I switch? I can't switch. Okay, so we have all this garlic here that overwintered. I planted it in the fall and it grew and it grew and now it's doing really great. So I'm really excited about the garlic this year. And over here we have, this stuff wasn't overwintered. These are beet seedlings that I started early in the spring, and then I transplanted them out a couple weeks ago. So we've got beets and we've also got rutabaga. And let's see if you guys can see over here. Don't mind the rubber snake. These are a couple of Tom Thumb lettuces that actually did overwinter. I planted those last year and took outer leaves from them all year, and they're probably going to go to seed this year. So we'll see what they do and see if I can save some seed from those, because that's always fun. Here we've got, this is a black currant that I started from cuttings last year, and I need to actually, I've got a couple of seedlings that I started from seed because I'm not sure if I need to have multiples of this plant for it to set fruit, but it's got flowers on it already. So maybe I'll luck out and we'll get some black currants. Let me see. Okay, so here's something that overwintered. This bed is full of celtis, and you can look it up. I got the seeds from Baker Creek, and this is a very cold hardy Asian version of lettuce. And I planted these last kind of early fall, and they overwintered, and now I separated them and divided them out to give them some more room, and they seem to be doing pretty well. So we're going to start harvesting the outer leaves on these. And then also in this same bed we have spinach. So these I started inside and then planted out a couple weeks ago, about the same time I did the beets. So this guy right here, I don't know if you can see, but this is a kale from last year that I tried just leaving in the yard or in the garden and seeing how it would do, and a lot of it died back, but then there was still some life in the stem this spring, and it has bounced back quite a bit. So you can see this guy. I'm gonna go ahead and let it get a little bit bigger before I start taking any leaves from it. And speaking of which, I have a couple more that they haven't bounced back quite as much, but I'm still going to leave them in the garden. I've got this. This is one of the little Scarlet Kales. And you can see it's just got one little hopeful leaf. It's got a couple more over here, but it's not doing quite as well. And then on the other end of the same bed, we've got the same type of thing going on. And then over here we have, oh, that must have been a red Russian kale right there, because this is the Scarlet Kale. So you can see the stub from last year, and then the new growth is coming up from the base of that stub. So you can see that. And then in other parts of the garden, I've got a lot of onions in this bed, if you can see. Oop, gonna fall over. There's a lot of onions over here, and these I multi-sowed like 3 or 4 in a clump. I started these from seed, So I've watched quite a few of the Charles Dowding videos about multi-sowing onions and leeks and beets, rutabagas, things like that, and that sowing them together in clumps is actually a very efficient way to grow them. So I'm going to give that a try. And speaking of leeks, these are leeks that I sowed last year. I started these last year from seed rather late, and they overwintered just fine. I had some hoops over them with fleece, if you can see. And then we have more onions over there. And this long bed right there. And here's a yarrow that survived from last year. I think yarrow is one of those things that you don't have to worry about, that just keeps coming back. And then this bed is pretty empty. We just got some more, I think that's garlic. Can't tell if it's garlic or leeks because I didn't mark it. It's kind of naughty. And then on either side of that I have sown carrots. I've got it's a yellow carrot that I've sown here, and then this is a rainbow mix carrot that I've sowed here. And then up against this bit of cattle panel, you can see this guy. This bit of cattle panel that I have at the end of this bed, I sowed some Lincoln peas, and they're coming up right here, along with some other things that I don't know what they are. I assume that they're weeds, but I often like to let weeds get started, and if I can recognize them, then I realize that it's something that self-sowed last year and it might be something I actually want there. But if I pull everything out before I can really tell what it is, then I'm taking away that chance that it might be something volunteering that I want in the garden. So we've got these peas here, and I have various black bins around the garden that you'll notice, and they're all full of compost. I don't have enough room in this garden for like a big legit compost system, so I have all these little bins throughout the garden. It's not as pretty as just having one big dedicated area, I think, for compost, but it's what I can do here, so that's what I'm gonna do. And that's about it. Let me see. I just randomly put crocus bulbs in some of my forgotten pots just to see if they would come up, and they are, and they're very pretty and cheerful. Let me see. Okay, so these are, can you see? Yes. So these are those dollar store, well, I got them at Aldi, not at the dollar store, but everybody calls them the dollar store towers, stackable planters. And so I have 6 of them in one tower, and you can see behind me, oh, there's another one. Got 6 of them over there. And I ran a piece of PVC pipe down the middle. You can see that. And it goes down through all of them. And I painted it black. And that's just to add more stability to the towers. And I just took some of the, you're gonna laugh at me, I just took some of the extra nasturtiums from one of my spent trays, and I planted them in the towers. Now this is way too early to normally be putting nasturtiums out in the garden, but I figured it was a spent tray from microgreens. I'm trying to get out of the glare. Spent tray from microgreens, and I was gonna toss them out anyway, so I might as well see if they would make it. Now if we luck out and we don't get any more frosts until the legit start of summer, then I'll have a jump on having flowers in these. And if we end up getting a frost, it's no big deal. I can just do the same thing again. So that's it. Thanks for joining me for this first little walkabout in my tiny little garden. And oh, well, I should probably show you my plants too. the ones that are for sale for the spring plant sale. I don't know if you can see. So here's one of my little shelves that I made out of cinder blocks. So we can see some of these beautiful walking stick kale. We've got some dinosaur kale over here. Not very many. Those are getting snapped up by quite a few people. We've got red Brussels sprouts and all these leeks that I have started. They are all multi-sown as well. And they were started in the basement under lights from seed. I have the autumn giant variety and the giant Musselburgh variety of leeks. Those are available in their little pots, and there's like 3 or 4, sometimes 5 individual leeks in each cluster. Let me see. Okay, so here's more of the dinosaur kale and some Scarlet Kale. I only have 4 of those left, so if anybody is planning on coming to this Sunday's plant sale, there's only 4 Scarlet Kale left. If you want one of those, send me a message and I'll set some aside for you. These are some zinnia plants that I started admittedly too early, and they're out here hardening off, and if it looks like we're going to have a frost, I will be bringing them inside. I don't know what I was thinking. I just started them way too early. But I have more started inside that I started at the more appropriate time. But if, like I said, if we don't get frosts, these are going to have a head start on some flowers in the garden. I have the standard green Brussels sprouts. I have some broccoli. I have just a couple more Waltham 29. And then I have a whole bunch of the broccoli Desico. I don't know how you pronounce it. Desico? That's what it looks like. And these are a lot more vigorous than my Waltham 29 broccolis. And then there's more dinosaur kale down here. And then there's another shelf. So this, you know, my spring plants, I don't plant nearly as many of these plants as I do of, you know, the tomatoes and peppers, and this year eggplant that I'm going to have this year. So I'm going to have quite a few hundred plants of tomatoes and peppers, etc. So this was just to get things started. And so here I have cauliflower. I've got purple of Sicily, and you'll notice that in most of these pots there's more than one plant, and that's just the way I like to plant things. I've got flat Dutch cabbage and some early Jersey cabbage, more flat Dutch up here. Down here I have red Russian kale. Look at how big and beautiful those plants are. You're going to want to have some of that in your garden. And then I have more of the walking stick kale plants. And if you haven't looked on the Baker Creek website and seen what walking stick kale looks like when it's fully mature, you have to go check it out because it's an amazing plant. And I've got quite a few left of those. So if anybody's wanting to come and grab some, you certainly can get some of those this Sunday. And then down here is my last little tray, just hanging out on the driveway. This is the Jessie Cauliflower, and this is more of a white standard cauliflower as opposed to the purple of Sicily that I have up there. So that is it. Ooh, I've got some bags of, there's a local farm here that I met up with the gal. It's Esterline Farms, and her daughter is doing a 4-H project where she mixed worm castings, rabbit poop, and bio-char to make a soil amendment. So I met up with her and picked up 3 bags of those. I think they're like $12 each, so a really good deal, and you're supporting a kid in 4-H, so what more can you ask for? I'm going to be using that in my garden, probably be going out to the farm and getting some more of that before long. But that's about it. Thanks for hanging out with me for almost 15 minutes. In the garden. Hopefully this is the first of many videos in the garden in 2021, and we've got a lot of cool things. Oh, next I'm not going to do that this time, but I'm going to be showing you before and afters of the garage renovation. So this is the garage. It's a detached, can you see it? Yeah, detached garage, just out back here. And we've gutted it and taken all of the wall covering down. It's down to bare studs. Took out all the nails, took down one of the lofts, took everything out of there. That's why we have this little tiny shed that we put up just to hold all the normal, you know, garage and shed things that you need to have space for, because this garage is going to turn into my new microgreens farm, and I will take you along on that journey as well. So all right, you guys have a wonderful rest of your week and beginning of the spring, and I'll talk to you later. Hopefully see you on one of our plant sale days, or when I'm delivering microgreens to your house. Wave and say hi, and I'll talk to you later. Bye guys.